Because today we talk about SOLBE1 BEE shares with Craig Gradidge from Gradidge-Mahura Investments. Craig, if Michael Brett is excited about this, then surely other black investors need to be as excited about this. But maybe let's unpack Sasol as a share, as well as Sasol Inzalo, the other BE initiative, and SOLBE1. What are the key differences there?
Okay, so when Sasol did its empowerment deal, or the ownership deal in 2008, there was a public element to that deal. And that public element had two components: a funded scheme known as Sasol Inzalo, where members of the public would buy Sasol Inzalo shares. The other scheme was the discounted scheme, where members of the public could buy discounted Sasol shares. Okay, so it is very different from the funded scheme from Sasol Inzalo, in that with Sasol Inzalo you effectively paid between 5 and 10% of the price of Sasol shares, and the rest was funded by debt. With the discounted scheme with SOLBE1, you got a discount, a one-off discount on the purchase price, and for the first 2 years you were not able to trade those shares. Thereafter you'd be able to trade those shares with other black investors, and thereafter they would convert into Sasol shares. In the meantime, they rank pari passu with Sasol ordinary shares. So as a shareholder in SOLBE1, you have the same voting rights and you earn the same dividends as ordinary shareholders.
Just on the trading platform for investors, I take it the key difference here as well is that SOLBE1, excuse me, I might have gotten that wrong, is actually listed on the JSE versus the OTC platform of Inzalo.
Yeah, so SOLBE1 is listed on the JSE's BEE board, and you would buy that share pretty much the same way you would buy any other share listed on the JSE. The only proviso is that you need to have signed what's called a BEE contract with your stockbroker. And it's important to note that not all stockbrokers offer the BEE contract. So I know places like PSG Online, FNB Securities offer it, and Standard Bank Securities, for example, does not offer it. So if you wanted to buy the shares, you would have to go to a broker that offered the BEE contract, where you make your disclosures, you provide your FICA, and you declare that you are an eligible person in terms of the requirements or in terms of the Act to be able to own those shares.
That's obviously a very intricate system of who can buy and when they can buy. But what sort of metrics do you look at when you want to buy?
Yeah, a very good question. I think with SOLBE1 it's easy. There's one metric, and that's the discount. Okay, because you're going to get one Sasol share for every SOLBE share you own. So it's not like you have to wait for the funding structure to unwind or anything like that. So the discount, and that discount has to be big enough to to reward you for the risks inherent in SOLBE1 relative to Sasol shares. And it's really just to compensate you for the lack of liquidity. So it's a highly illiquid stock. Particularly if you want to buy it. If you wanted to sell it, you could sell it tomorrow, because there are very often buyers lined up for the stock, but not enough sellers. The question is whether you would get your price.
And just to put into perspective, the Sasol share price is currently trading at 456 Rand.
Yeah.
SOLBE1 is at 350. So there's a significant discount between the two there.
Yeah.
But the correlation, if we take a look at the movements with regard to this, because Sasol has obviously taken a beating on the back of the oil price recently.
Look, because Sasol is so much more liquid than SOLBE1, the correlation breaks down every now and again. So the Sasol share price runs, and it takes a few days or weeks before the SOLBE share runs. So I think in mid-December that discount was as narrow as 10%, which is the lowest I've ever seen it. So at a 10% discount I would be selling, not buying. Today, as you pointed out, it's on a 23% discount. So what that means is when the discount disappears, when I get the 1-for-1 conversion, I'm getting a 31% return just from the discount disappearing. And my dividend yield is enhanced, provided they maintain the dividend, which is the big question. Which is the big question, yeah.
Exactly. Craig, always a pleasure having you in to update us on BEE shares.